Uh, Sorry, Wolf of Wall Street moment. My friends, this is bad. The market is about to crash. The economy is in a pisser, and what this means is that the purchasing power of your dollar is half of what it was only 5 years ago. As tantalizing as the number 3,000 might be, it actually does not bode well for the CPI. It does not bode well for your purchasing power. If the price of gold is nearly doubled in 5 years, what that means is that the price of everything has nearly doubled in 5 years. The final resting place of all inflation is in precious metals and commodities. Eventually, it works its way. We haven't even deflated the equities bubble yet. Wait till the stock market bubble pops. And that's when you're going to see this thing go, who knows how high? 4,000, 5,000. It's going to take tens of billions of dollars to get there. But it very well could if the market deflates. I think after 3,000, we're going to see some kind of fear of missing out grip people. And it's just incredible to watch this all unfold as gold hits escape velocity and really does liberate itself from the clutches of the global gold brokers and the market manipulators. They've lost control. They have lost control of the system. This is it. This is exactly what you would expect. You would expect a 40% rise in gold prices to happen throughout the course of the year, but because it's time release, every week a little trickle upwards. I mean, take a look at this. It's a steady staircase. This is not some parabolic NVIDIA, Bitcoin, a God candle type affair. This is something that, there's a little bit of rise, there's a bit of retracement, there's a little sideways, a little rise, it's a steady staircase of growth. And that is exactly the worst kind of thing you want because it's almost when you see a shock, that's when it kind of wakes people up. But if it's gradual, people don't notice. And you'll notice that they're not talking about this at all in the mainstream. Now, you might be sitting there saying, hey, we don't hold any gold. We're barely just scraping by. And this still pertains to you. I mean, the only gold I own is like this fractional, the novelty stuff that I review on the channel where you break a piece off. This is like a 25 ounce thing. So you break a piece off, you pay a high premium for it. But when I bought this, it was half the price. Okay? So, who's laughing now? It doesn't matter because the value is still the same. The $2,000 I might have paid for that years ago is now worth $4,200 Canadian. That's a bad thing. Okay, that means that people got to stop thinking that $100 is a lot of money. I hear people like they come to the website and they're like, oh, $20 for a thing of freeze-dried food. It's like it's 2025. It's the current year. That phrase only makes sense as it pertains to economics. It's the current year. $100 is nothing nowadays. It really isn't. I mean, unfortunately, the actual wages are not reflected in this. The wages have yet to catch up to the actual inflation that's happening, and the system is about to break. Okay, the only thing holding up the system at this point in time are the tech giants. NVIDIA, they're probably going to make OpenAI go public. They'll probably do SpaceX to go public. And every time it seems like the system's going to break, they're going to make another big company go public, and that's going to try to raise all ships in the market. But it can only work for so long. This is very, very bad. Now, we're going to talk about wars and everything else, but understand the reason why the price of gold is rising is multifold, but the crux of it all is very simple. The final resting place of inflation is in commodity. It's in stuff, okay? And one of the most condensed form of material value known to man is gold, platinum, silver, palladium, precious metals. Eventually, it's going to work its way into the less precious metals like copper and things of that nature. We're going to see another commodity super cycle. That's at least what history dictates, although we're living in unprecedented times, so anything can happen. But in terms of what's causing this, people are chalking it up to the tariffs. Well, the price of gold was rising before the tariffs. Okay, I think it's mostly to do with all of that and money printing that went on back in 2021. Lots of it went into the stock market. Lots of went into crypto and other more frivolous endeavors, and now it's finally making its way into the gold market. Okay, this is to do with the arbitrage trade happening between the LBMA and the COMEX market. It's a due to China stockpiling gold like you haven't seen before. I'm sure the Saudis and anybody with half a brain in the Middle East who has a lot of money is stockpiling as much gold as they can. China is getting their insurance companies to purchase gold now as a hedge. Because of course there's no counterparty risk. It's one of the most incorruptible items known to man, and it's always going to increase in value or retain its value in real terms. It's the Russians who are now trading in gold. It's the BRICS nations who are now trading in gold. It's a global decoupling, and it is a harbinger for the end of the U.S. dollar, among many other things that are geopolitical in nature. The fact that the war in Russia and Ukraine is still raging, and you still have the potential for the war in the Middle East to flare up, as well as a war with Iran on the horizon, which of course the Iran bone is connected to the China bone, is connected to the Russian bone, and everything is interconnected in this increasingly deglobalized world. So this is a significant number, whether it's meaningful to you personally on a financial level or not. Now, my personal investment of choice is things, material things that either have a renewable aspect to them, like a solar panel or something that is going to that I can use as a tool to make me money or to potentially, hopefully, yield some kind of return, or physical stuff, raw prepper stuff, food, water, shelter, guns, medicine, things of that nature. We recently, in a video that I released over the weekend, right after the video that we released about inflation, where I talk about the multitude of factors that are actually suppressing inflation. So if you think inflation is bad now, wait till they do the unipolar rug pull. Okay, it is going to get very, very ugly. But things like freeze-dried food, for example, this is going to be post-apocalyptic currency. And I've always referred to as one of the first people that talked about how freeze-dried food is actually, it's almost a better holder of value than is gold, because the price of food is only going to increase. As you have global decoupling, as you have increased prices for the inputs into agriculture, be they pesticides, fertilizer. Yes, pesticides, you know, like it or love it, it's a thing, something that we have to contend with. Just the cost of land in general, the cost to run equipment, the cost of fuel to run the tractors, the cost of steel that it takes to make the tractors, all of these inputs are only going to increase in price. And then you layer on top of that government regulation, bird flu, combs, and all the rest, the price of the things only going to skyrocket. So the thing that can retain its value the most is some non-perishable food source. And when you look at the price of beef alone or chicken, and you compare the price now to what it was, you know, even 5 years ago, the price in some cases has already doubled. Okay, so and in some cases much higher than that. And I expect that there's going to come a time when something like this is just $100. I mean, there was a time when something like this was like $6. This is beef stroganoff and noodles, freeze-dried meal. Now this is getting close to $20. Okay, $20. Forget $20. That's crazy, man. When I first started trucking, I could go in and I could buy a thing of rice and chicken in Canadian dollars at the wholesale stores at the time. This was like $20. $20 for a can of rice and chicken. Nowadays, this is going to run you 50. In some cases, I've seen it high as $70. I think we sell it for $50. But that's money, okay? Above and beyond that, money is grains, it's rice, beans, mylar bags. These things are always going to have some sort of value. Now, is it going to make money in the same way a stock would? No. But when you really look at, are people making money in the stock market? Did you know that the price of gold has actually beat the S&P 500 since the last 20 years? The price of gold has risen nearly 600%, and I think the S&P 500 500 is something like five. It's close to that, anyways. But people think, they're looking at the 401ks and they think they're getting richer. You're not getting richer because the purchasing power has been greatly diminished. It's all an illusion, just like changing the name on the map or the Gulf or whatever, as if that is going to make your life materially more